I want to thank all the members for their participation. This will not be the last you hear of this. This will be the bedrock. Yes, one more.
First and Secretary, when you presented today, they're making one more try, serious try on the stimulus bill for everybody to eat. Are you behind, and you get your caucus behind the 1.6 billion?
One thing I know, we would like,
Sorry.
oh, I'm sorry. We would like to see a COVID relief bill, one that is bipartisan. Unfortunately, having done 4 of these relief bills, there's always seems to be a common denominator. When Speaker Pelosi gets involved, it always gets delayed. And in this last COVID relief bill that we've been trying to do, she's been the driving force behind it, and really the driving force of not having it happen. She told us in August we would not leave until we got one done, but she sent everybody home. She called us back during August for an emergency of the post office. The House Republicans actually proposed the only ability that we have in an MTR to move forward on some COVID relief. The Democrats voted it down. Again, when we look at what Nancy Pelosi is proposing today, it's simply the HEROES Act that's already failed. It still talks about marijuana more than it talks about jobs. The only deduction that they have is $600 million cutting of the police force when the streets are less safe today than they were before. So I do too. It's unfortunately, it's easy to the answer. The answer is I want to have a bipartisan bill. I want to come to an agreement. I am more than willing to sit down and make sure we get one. Unfortunately, the Speaker will not move. That is why we have a discharge petition on the floor right now. Because of the Speaker's action, that is why she has 23 members of her own party warning her that they will sign the discharge petition for PPP. The fundamental part of what we actually proposed to make sure that people would keep their jobs, that small businesses would stay open. Remember history here, the very short history. When we did our first CARES bill, that Sunday when we came back in, what did Speaker Pelosi do? She blew up what even Schumer said he was agreeing to the day before and waited another week. After we got that passed and she got more money for the Kennedy Center, the only reason why she held it, then we were running out of money because it was so successful to help these small businesses pay their rent and pay their employees, that the Treasury Secretary asked not to change any legislative body, but to actually have more money put in. She famously that late night in front of the refrigerator told the nation no, and delayed it even further so more people were laid off. Each time we have tried to do this, she has stepped in to delay the process. There might be many reasons why she thinks that's smart. Maybe it's a political reason, but it's not smart for the people who are unemployed. Even her own number 2 said $600 on the unemployment extra, that is $15 an hour extra of what's being paid, is not a red line, and that people should actually change that. But she made it a red line to make it not happen. There are times and again that she has denied this from moving forward. So, when Treasury Secretary Mnuchin puts forth the plan that it could be bipartisan, we would seriously be able to look at that and make sure we move forward. But if Nancy Pelosi continues to run forward, it's not a $2.2 trillion bill. It's the exact same bill that she had before. All she does is put these fundamental cliffs in that it still goes out to 2.6. She's not serious about it. That is why the American people are hurting. That is why 23 people of her own party are warning her that they will go with Republicans. The only measure we have, because she controls all, is a discharge petition so the American public can understand what that is. If 218 people are willing to sign a piece of paper to move a bill to the floor that Steve Chabot has put together, he was the architect of the PPP, he has reforms in there to help the small businesses, the same thing that we tried to move before. It's interesting in the continuing resolution that she would not put it on the floor in the normal sense that she went to having it on suspension. Why? Because the Republicans would have an MTR. And we again would have fought to make sure that there would be COVID relief for the American public. The only thing that is holding up COVID relief for the American public is one person. The one person that has all the power in this House. The one person that has delayed every time we have done it before. Speaker Nancy Pelosi. So if your question was to me, yes, Republicans will be more than willing to support a bill to get relief. But the real question would be, is Nancy Pelosi going to deny us one more time? And she's not denying me. She's hurting the American public. Maybe she thinks it helps her politically. come November. But I wanted to look in the faces of the people that are laid off. I wanted to look at the small businesses that have shut for good. I wanted to look at the schools that are fearful that they're going to have, that they don't have any liability protection because they're being sued, or they don't have the money to actually protect, to have the PPE to go forward. It's interesting to me that in LA County, the own health department person says, we're going to keep the schools closed until the election. No science based upon that. But this nation is too great for an idea so small as to play politics with COVID, and the speaker knows better. Thank you.